Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Mastermind Podcast. My name is Grace Sumbu and I am your host. As always, today's episode is sponsored by Cleveland Homes, where you dream it and they do it. Today, I have an amazing guest. I like to describe her as the very humble one. I am tempted to introduce her, but I like her to introduce herself. Welcome to today's podcast.
Oh, hello, Grace. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So you want me to introduce myself? How am I supposed to do that, Grace?
Oh, please. I think you'll do great justice introducing yourself.
Let me try. So I'm Toju Cole. I'm a mother. I'm a communicator. I'm a teacher. I'm a lawyer. And I enjoy life. Is that okay?
Yeah, it is okay.
Fantastic.
So you see, I wasn't wrong
No,
having you introduce yourself because I would have left out on quite a number of things, even though, anyways, I don't want to say something that will get us off the intention of today's podcast, but it's amazing having you. And I would want for us to talk about the experiences with the Mastermind. As I earlier said at the intro, this is the Mastermind Podcast where we share experiences of people who have gone through one or more services of the Mastermind. So tell me, Toju, tell me about the experiences you've gone through either one or more of the products of the Mastermind.
Wow. I have gone through, if memory serves me right, 3 services. The Mind Gym, the Clarity Retreat, and the accountability sessions with Victor. And for me to have done 3, it seems that I keep coming back for more. So that in itself is quite telling. I met Victor 5 years ago through the Toastmasters family, and he was my mentor. And as a mentor, you really are supposed to engage with your mentee, encourage your mentee, and bring out the best in the mentee. And that was what Victor did with me. And by doing that, we were able to build a wonderful relationship. Through that, when he reached out to me that he was going to engage and produce various services because of my previous relationship with him and him being a wonderful individual. I could spend another hour talking about him here, but I'm going to try not to digress. But because of that, the fact that he told me about what he wanted to do, I was very open. I was open to engaging with the services that he had to offer.
Fantastic. So you did mention you've engaged with 3, and that was quite telling. Let's talk about the Clarity Retreat, which is one of the services you did engage.
Yes.
Tell me about that experience.
Wow. It was a soul-searching one, as the word clarity implies. The essence of the retreat was for us to really delve within, search ourselves to find out what it is that we wanted from life at that point in time. And it was very goal-oriented. So you came into that session, having an idea of what it is that you wanted to achieve, and then the structure and the system in place would enable you to flesh out those goals and flesh out what you were trying to achieve. And really, that was what the Clarity Retreat did for me. I was at a point in my life where I needed answers. You know, I needed answers regarding my marriage, regarding raising my children, regarding my purpose. I seem to be one of those people that I'm, journeying through life, always asking that question at various times in my life. Toju, what are you supposed to be doing now? Are you achieving those things? And being a very organized, I would say the typical Virgo in me, I'm always wanting to be in touch at every point in time in my life. So when that opportunity came with the Clarity Retreat, it was something I was very open to, because I was aware of the fact that I would have a better understanding of the various stages in my life at that time. And after going through that session, after going through the retreat, I was better able to understand my goals, and steps were put in place to ensure that I was able to follow on my goals even after the retreat. Because it's one thing you being in an environment for a day, and you set out your goals, you're pumped up, you're very optimistic as to what it is you want to achieve. But it's another thing to be able to follow it through, and that's one of the amazing things that the GM-4 that they did even after the Clarity Retreat. There's that follow-up to ensure, okay, these are the goals that you've set. Have you been able to achieve them? What are you struggling with? How can I help you here? So it's like a family. And you leave the retreat feeling positive and optimistic about the future. And then you also have individuals there to hold your hands and carry you through to ensure that you're able to achieve your goals.
Awesome. So, Toju, I did my research, and I came
to
the realization that you did attend the Clarity Retreat twice. So there must have been something that made you have that experience. One would think attending the Clarity Retreat once would be sufficient.
Well, when it comes to you having deeper understanding of yourself, there isn't a time frame, there isn't a timeline on that. And with the first Clarity Retreat that I attended, it gave me deeper understanding about myself, about my goals. The community that I became part of with Victor and the other participants was an amazing experience. So when the opportunity for another one came, and I could afford it, and I knew what to expect, I didn't hesitate to embark upon the second one. And what that did also for me was to enable me to further discover more things about myself, elaborate on the goals that I had set in the previous Clarity Retreat, and just continually enjoy the journey that I had embarked upon in the first one. I was able to expatiate it a bit better with the second one.
Awesome. Talking about amazing experiences, can you share a few that will resonate with someone out there who is also seeking clarity?
All right. I would talk about firstly the curriculum, the scheme of work that the Clarity Retreat provides. You're able to do various exercises that looks at the different parts of your life, like a wheel of life. You're looking at your relationships, you're looking at your career goals, you're looking at your spirituality, so that you actually have various sessions within the retreat that you're able to engage and discover various aspects of these segments in your life. And the amazing group sessions that you have, the role plays that you have, and then you also have the follow-up that GM-4 would engage with you. So when you are serious about the Clarity Retreat, it will produce fruits for you tenfold. But I always say this, your ability to gain the results still has a lot to do with you. It's like you go into school, you can have an excellent curriculum, but if you don't engage it to the fullest, your ability to grow from that experience can be limited. So I will always say that when you're coming into the Clarity Retreat, have an idea of what it is that you want to achieve. Because once you have that, trust me, with Coach Victor and his team, they would ensure that you're able to bring it to fruition.
Awesome. So that's that with the Clarity Retreat.
Yes.
Now let's talk about the Mind Gym, another product that you were a part of.
See, I'm addicted to GM-4, it seems.
You are. So walk us through your experience in the Mind Gym.
Right. With the Mind Gym, for me, it was coming to the realization that, I know I said this to Victor, that I was a book hoarder. This is two different things from where you buy books, right? I used to get so excited about buying books. I had my shelves filled with loads of books. I will buy them. I will admire them. I will boast about the fact that I own this book, but I would not take the time out to actually read the book. And I'm a great believer of the fact that your ability to grow, to evolve, to become a better version of yourself has a lot to do with the information that you process in and apply. And your ability to learn from others, ability to learn from their experiences, your ability to learn from their life experiences at a minimal cost comes from reading books. And that's really what the Mind Gym is about. And what I loved about the Mind Gym is the fact that you're doing it in a very safe environment. You're doing it in a safe and structured environment. And for me personally, my sort of personality works with order. I keep saying I'm a Virgo, I'm a typical Virgo, whereby I love structure. And the Mind Gym is built on structure, is built on having specific books that would enable you grow in your personal development journey. It's not just picking random books. The books have been chosen specifically to ensure that they're setting foundational principles that you have, right? So you have that. And then also in terms of structure, you have a designated amount of time and chapters that you have to read. So you're held accountable. They're not going to have a cane, flogging you. But guess what? When you show up for the big book review, if you haven't, I hope this shouldn't scare, well, it might scare those that aren't serious because then it has that element of accountability. When you come for your book review, then you're forced to talk about what you've read. You're forced to talk about the brownie points, the mantras that you've learned from that book. And then you're able to share it in a very safe environment. You're sharing it with other people that have also read the book, and they're there to exchange their brownie points and their mantras also. So you end up growing from the entire experience.
Something you said about your experience in the Mind Gym has prompted me to ask you this question. Would I be right to say that the Mind Gym isn't a book club per se? Because you did talk about structure. You also did talk about the point where people are able to give their book reviews and do so in a safe place.
Yes.
Am I correct to say?
Yes, you are. So the question you're asking is it more than
a book club?
Of course it is. Because I also mentioned the fact that you're learning in a safe environment. In order for you to learn in a safe environment, you're part and parcel of the community. And one of the best ways of truly learning is when you feel comfortable. So you are developing and learning in an environment with like-minded individuals. So apart from you coming in every week or every other week to give you a book review, you're also building friendships with individuals that think like you. So you are cultivating a community beyond the book club, quote unquote.
Okay. And then you talked about the books that were specifically selected
Yeah.
and tailored. And I would like to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, they are personal development and growth books. Could you tell me one of the books that you found really impactful for
Oh,
you?
that's easy. I'm sure on my deathbed, I will probably be telling this to my grandchildren. No, it's honestly, Seven Habits of a Highly Effective Individual, that transformed my paradigm in terms of how I view life, in terms of accountability, in terms of being introspective. Uh, Steve Covey's book is, I would say, next to the Bible, is a book that I would say everyone ought to read at least once in their lives. And that is part of the foundational books that we looked at in the Mind Gym.
What other books? I'm curious.
As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, and then Viktor Frankl,
Viktor Franklin, Man's Search for Meaning.
Man's Search for Meaning, right? These are classic personal development books, but these are books that would help you develop a good foundation in terms of you asking yourself, why am I here? All right, the problems that I may have in my life, why do they exist? Why do they exist? And something that Steve Covey mentioned is that when you think the problem is out there, that in itself is the problem. So you having a sense of accountability. If the world at large, you have citizens and individuals that truly take responsibility for their actions, we'll have a better world. But a lot of the time, we're always searching and looking out to pass the buck. I said, no, it's not my problem. Someone else has caused me to act in this way. And for me, even as a parent, I'm parents to teenagers and young adults, I'm constantly dealing with that. Learn to take responsibility. Learn to take responsibility, own it, learn from it, grow from it. And the books that we looked at the Mind Gym definitely touches upon these foundational principles.
Okay, so let's go back. Let's go to the last experience.
Like I said, GM-4, I kept coming back. Yeah,
which is the accountability. Or what I think, or what I feel is referred to as the scorecard. Yeah.
That for me, the reason why I signed up for that, for me personally, was because of my relationship with Victor. For me to be held accountable by anyone, it has to be someone that I look up to. It has to be someone that I feel can teach me. It has to be someone that I feel has done the work, that will come and tell me, okay, Toju, you're messing up here. You have to do A, B, C, D. Being a strategist. And in order for you to be a strategist in my sphere, trust me, you have to know your stuff. And Victor is someone that I'm endeared to because of the amount of work he has done in his own life. So when he is advising you and guiding you, it's not just from the books. It's good to have the theoretical aspect of it. But when you're able to apply it in your life, when you're able to walk the walk and then speak from experience, it's mind-blowing. And that's what Victor has been able to do. So that's one of the reasons why I engaged with him. I'm smiling because I'm thinking sometimes when we're doing our accountability sessions, Victor and I, he's the sort of person I can sit down with him. We can talk for hours. He can come and an hour session can lead to 2 hours, 3 hours, because we're talking about varied principles about life, and he's that engaging. So that was one of the reasons why I definitely was eager to join jumping on the scorecard with Victor, because I knew I'll be able to learn from him and he'll be able to hold me accountable. Remember, he was my mentor.
Yeah.
And apart from that, he's a person of high integrity, which you hardly find. You hardly find. So even if I want to mess up, I'm like, oh gosh, I don't want to let Victor down. So that always endeared me to at least try to fulfill the goals that we had both set together. Another thing with him is he will sit down and set a personalized plan. Because there's no one size fits all. Everyone is very different. So it's a case of having those introductory sessions whereby I'm able to tell him what my plans are. I can have very lofty plans. And I'm like, Toju Cole, okay, fair enough. You can tell me you want to achieve all these things, but is it practical? Is it doable? What is the time frame? And I'm going to hold you accountable to them. So by doing that, at the end of the day, I was able to achieve quite a bit with him.
Awesome. Can you share with us, if I'm
too
not being
personal,
too personal
Too
yet,
personal,
can
too
you
personal,
share with
too
us?
personal, Grace. I would say it touched upon a lot, really, upon a lot with my marriage, wanting to become a better partner, right? And I know we had to do a lot of self-development. And I'm a strong believer of, in order for you to make yourself available to others, to give others, you have to be full. When you're full, you run over.
You know, you always used to tell me you can't fill from an empty cup.
No, you can't. No, you can't. So I did a lot of that, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of self-love, a lot of self-discovery. And I did that with him. And I was able to do that with him because I was comfortable enough with him. And by being able to really delve into these things, I would like to say my husband, my children, and those close friends of mine were able to benefit from the version of myself I was able to discover through the scorecard.
Brilliant. Now, I feel I already know the answer to this question.
Bring it on.
But do you feel that being a part of the mastermind was a worthy investment?
Of course, there's no two ways about that. And when they say leaders are readers, your ability to understand life comes from reading. Reading is you discovering information, wisdom. And the beautiful thing I always think about life is success leaves a trail. It does. All right. So when you're reading books like As a Man Thinketh, for instance, this is someone explaining to you his life journeys, the mistakes he's made, the trials he's made, how he's been able to overcome them. And when you talk about Viktor Frankl, you know, someone in the during Nazi's Germany and the trials that he was able to go through and come out of it, his ability to heal, his ability to forgive, his ability to pick himself up in the most devastating situation. Come on. You're able to learn from that. And that's what books do. That's what people sharing their experiences do. If you're able to tap into it, you get it for cheap in the sense that you don't have to go through their mistakes to become better. You're learning from their mistakes for you to become a better person. So it's a no-brainer. If you can afford it, even if you can't, you know, everything in life is about priorities. I would say it's definitely worthy.
Fantastic. Now, while listening to you say all that you just said about, you know, learning from other people's experiences as opposed to going through that, I would like for you to, in closing, share with us your before meets after.
Oh, wow. I would say before, Toju was a very reactive individual. Now I'm more proactive. I'm more empathetic. You know, in the case of, you know, stepping in someone else's shoes. In life, it's amazing how we think that we're acting a particular way in theory. But when you're in it, you now realize that, oh dear, it's not as easy as that. Or, oh, wow, I would act in a different way. So learning to become more empathetic, learning to become more proactive, learning to become more, if we know with me, I always dive into my spirituality in terms of the fruit of the spirit. You know, all these things, you know, patience, long suffering, all of those things, they all come from you experiencing life and being able to grow from these things. And all the services I have engaged with GM-4 so far, being accountable, um, the mind gym, learning from others, and then being, what's the third one?
The clarity.
The clarity retreat, whereby you know what your goals are, you have it in a very structured way to be able to engage with those goals in a very safe environment, and an environment whereby you're part and parcel of a community. Come on, you will end up being a better person, for sure. So the now Toju is a better version, an evolving version of herself because of God, GM-4, and just life in general.
Awesome. So I will be correct to say you are no longer a book hoarder.
No, I'm a book lover now.
And a book reader.
And a book reader.
And
indeed.
you also have learned through the engagement of the Mind Gym services that it is more important to read and apply as opposed to just reading.
Indeed. Baby steps. I know you hear me say that all the time.
Yes,
life is just baby steps. Even if, yes, we want you to definitely engage with this, but the whole concept of being able to read, it can be very daunting for an individual. You look at a book and like, oh my God, 600 pages. How am I going to do it? Just, I always say, you want to do it in like 2 months. So 600 divided by 60. So that's like maybe like 10 pages every day. So every day, all you have to do is just do 10 pages. And that's kind of like what we're also doing with the Mind Gym, whereby you had a week to do a chapter. So you know every day I'm going to do so many pages. And what happens is that you cultivate a habit, and characters habit formed. You just do it in little bits. And before you know, like you rightly said, become a book lover.
A book reader, book lover, book reader, and then take a few ideas from these books and apply. I wish the conversation could go on and on, Toju. I enjoy having you share your experiences with us, and I look forward to amazing transformational journey. I look forward to more from you.
And then also, if I may add, part of my 2024 resolution now is to go back to the Mind Gym.
Really?
Yes, I actually thought about it. And I thought, you know what, it'll be nice. I know my life is so busy, but in life, something's important to prioritize. So it'll be nice to just still engage in the community and just have that structure. So yes, God's willing, 2024. Why not?
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. And so on that note, we have come to today's episode of the podcast. And so if you're looking for a safe space, you're looking for a group of people who are journeying to gain clarity and be the best version of themselves, then do reach out to us and we will readily guide you on a step-by-step process on how to embark on that journey. And until the next time we have an amazing guest share their experience on the Mastermind Podcast, I will see you on the next episode.